So perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself and tell me about the characters that you play.
Hi, shall I look to the camera?
Please do, yes, yeah.
Hi, my name is Angela Prince, and in the Grammar of Witchcraft I play several characters: the chorus role, a phantasm role. I play there's a short improv bit, a mother and daughter scene, and also I play the high priestess. So it's quite a variety.
It certainly is. You say there's an improv scene. I've not realised that.
Well, I say, it's, I don't know, perhaps I shouldn't. What happened was it was just one line in the original script, and then I thought, oh, we should turn it into like more of a little scene. Because much of what we've done was, we've devised it between us, a lot of it, and developed it. So I myself and the Camille, who played the daughter, we kind of worked on just a little scene together, and it was purely improvised, and then each time we do it, actually something slightly changes.
Yes.
But we know what we're doing, so we can kind of embroider it how we want. Anyway, that's what I mean by improv.
Yes.
So it wasn't strictly in the script, but it works well. I thought it worked well. So.
Most certainly, I don't think anybody identified that as being the case.
And because the script, hasn't been done before, the script was there, but until you actually start to work on it together as a group, you start to think, okay, we need to cut this or not do that or do that, or it's very kind of an intuitive process, and devised between us, and it's very physical theatre based. I think that's something that I really liked about it.
Yes.
Playing the multiple roles, all very quick changes and quick shifts, but it's the physicality aspects I like, with the mime and the masks and the movement as well.
And the songs.
Oh, and the song,
yes,
the music, yeah. So these were like the songs or the lyrics were there, the poetry or the prose.
Yes.
And then I created the tunes. So you could say that they weren't songs. I turned them into songs and chants. There's one main song which I kind of just thought of. It was in the vein of kind of like medieval, pagan. I was just thinking of that sort of era. Medieval.
I was thinking of madrigals. And
madrigals,
like that.
Troubadours, sort of.
Yeah.
And yes, that's exactly the kind of theme that was in my head. So I just modelled it on that, and just kind of, and it felt that was right for the role and the piece. So yes, I did the melody for that, and then the chants were very much like the church, the Orthodox Church. And I was brought up, well, a lot of people know that from being in a church, and I was brought up with a quite strict sort of Catholic Christian background. So I remember, you hear all these kind of chants, and that was quite easy for me to sort of think, oh yes, this is this. Or, but people recognise it's quite subliminal, I think. Because people will have heard these things and heard that type of
It's
sound.
in their psyche, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's quite. I think it's quite subliminal and historical. There's a lot of myth involved with all this piece as well, and it appeals to me. So you haven't even asked me questions.
No,
I'm
it's
just
fine.
rattling on, but because I think it speaks to the subconscious very much because of the visuals. The song, the tune, the kind of. I think it's hard to understand in some ways. Of course, the prose or the verse, it can be hard. I'll say that because even I was like, what's this? And I think maybe even audiences might not understand always exactly what something is, but I think that they get a kind of feeling.
They get an aura, definitely.
And they get a vibe, and they also, and there is this kind of underlying message and a lot of themes going on, I think. So that to me, that was quite appealing to work with that for me.
Yes, the fact is obviously it's inspired by Shakespeare. I think David wrote the first book maybe 15, 20 years ago. I have a copy somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's still very relevant today. What would you say its importance is for today as a piece overall?
Wow, I think because it doesn't matter what era you're in. I mean, we're always moving through time, but themes are stayed the same, which is probably why Shakespeare is still today. Whether it's it's the dreams or the love and hatred and salvation, or the mysteries of the mind, understanding one's purpose, and just the whole, and also the influence of through centuries. Of course, there's always the influence, and this piece is very much about it. The mother and daughter team spoke like I was thinking of like society, and this kind of, she represents always caring what people think about, and kind of possibly have a child who's not dressing right and being like a young lady. So that was very important for me to put that in, have that. So that's society, and then church is very much programming. It's this is right, this is wrong. So there's a lot of that, and that's something that happens, that seems to happen throughout history. That there'll be these people saying that we're right and we've got to do what we say. So all these things, the religion and power, love, hate, these are just universal themes, and they exist. It doesn't matter what century you're in, or time you're in. So in that sense, I think it works for now as much as any, even though it's in the old language, if you like.
It's in very esoteric language.
It's very esoteric,
yes.
yeah. That is, you could say, well, why would it have to? What is that? I think because there's so much of that has been programmed into people's psyche, there is a kind of an understanding on some level of what it means, I feel. Well, people will have heard a lot of stuff.
Yes. Even
if we're in a new time now, always in a new time, but we still got all this influence of the past. There's still all this, even if you don't adhere to a religion, you'll still be knowing about religion or exposed to it in some way, all of us.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And you're quite correct. It's like Shakespeare. When we hear Shakespeare's language today, we don't understand every nuance of what they're saying there. The language has changed. Yeah. Some of the aphorisms, the allegories, they don't exist today. But it's like that. I think this play.
It's allegorical, and I have. I think also what I really like about this, I haven't for quite some time done something in this kind of style. Have I done something like this before? Not exactly, but in the past I did do the morality plays. I've done Every Man, which is a morality play.
Yes.
And that was a piece we did, which was just, we were all on stage all the time in that piece. We didn't have masks, but it was creating these physical theatre tableaus of very movement. So I did have experience of that in the past. That was a devised piece. And then I did The Passion and the Nativity. Those are, the medieval morality plays. So I think that's the closest I've got to this. And this, has elements of that.
Yes, it does.
But those
definitely.
are known morality plays,
yes.
Which I really enjoyed, and I loved doing that. And there were songs in that before where
yes.
I did, just a cappella with just a tune. And I remember doing all these things and thinking, I wonder if ever I'll do that kind of work again. Anyway, this is not the same exactly, because it's also got mime, mask, other things, factors, but it's similar in some ways, and I really liked it. I kind of miss doing that kind of thing, so I'm happy to do the weird. Yeah.
Well done. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your performance and for your time this evening.
Thank you.